Howdy, partners. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the finally new Yocto live coding session after a pretty long break. In contrast to what most people probably guessed, I did not catch the coronavirus. I've had a much more pleasant time to take a break. I was on paternal leave, so yay me. More, more, more future hackers that can work on the Yocto project in a couple of years. And so I'm back. We're gonna do we're gonna have a lot of nerdy times together again. And today I'm gonna be talking about project setup in general, like a small walkthrough, and the cast tool in particular. As usual, if you're on the Twitch page for the Yocto project, scroll down. There's a lot of links to social media thingies like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. So click those, get in touch. There's also a link to the #Yocto IRC on Freenode, which you can just click, pick your username, and get in touch with us without getting an account somewhere. Just shoot us questions, remarks, whatever you want to add, criticize for the stream, or just hang out with us. Yeah, just we're a really friendly bunch. Come in, say hello. Yeah, and another new thing, as the weather is nice here in Bavaria, I'm streaming today from my balcony. Yeah, you can see this is the view from where I live. Sitting in the balcony. There's the sun, and okay, let's talk about stuff. Let's get going. So here we are. Um, Project setup. Project setup usually means that first you clone Pocky or something comparable. You can, as we all know, hopefully, you can build without Pocky, just distroless open embedded, but that's not what I'm gonna show today. We're gonna start with cloning Pocky. Good. Clone get Yocto project.org Pocky git. Um, like I said, just slam the chat with whatever you want to say. I'll happily take questions on every topic, not just what I'm talking about right at the moment. What I don't promise is that I'll have an answer for everything. Okay? So after we've cloned Pocky, we're gonna check out the branch we want to use today. The latest release, also the long-term supported release, is Dunfell. So here we go. We want Dunfell. Usually, a real-life project does not only consist of Pocky, but we also need mid to open embedded, probably. Let me find a link. Link address and git clone this. I'm just walking you through the steps so you get a feeling for what I'm trying to explain when it comes to the project setup at all. Okay, meta open embedded. Again, meta open embedded, git checkout Dunfell. You usually will want to keep all of your layers in version sync. Otherwise, you will have fun and or trouble, depending on your point of view. Okay, we want to be as close to a real project that can run on hardware as possible. So we're gonna add a couple of more things. Get Yocto Project. We're gonna add Meta TI because my usually favorite demonstration topic is the BeagleBone Black. When it comes to real hardware, not the Raspberry Pi. I think that's mostly for historic reasons. So we've got Meta TI again. Meta TI git checkout done fail, and I just happen to know that Meta TI depends on Meta ARM. So clone Meta ARM, and again git dot clone git checkout. It's checkout. Done fail. So by now we actually have at least cloned all. Now I really have to mute this sound. This is annoying me to no end. You see, there's a lot of repetition in here. This is also like the my usually recommended setup. You have a project directory. In this case, I call it Yocto Live, inside which you clone Pocky and all the layers or combination layers that you actually need. And then you go like source Pocky OE init bin build. Now we've got a build and more stuff to do. Hooray! Conf bb layers. We gonna need a lot of things to add here. We need from meta open embedded. We need meta OI. Then we're gonna need meta Python. Next thing we're gonna need is meta arm from meta arm, if I'm remembering correctly. This can also serve as a reference on how to build for the BeagleBone Black and Dunfill, but you'll soon see what I'm up for. And finally, I think we'll need Meta TI. Open embedded, no typos, hopefully. We will see. And again, another thing to do, local.conf. This is really a super, super dark comment thing. I promise I will do better next time, okay? Machine. We want to build for the BeagleBone Black, like a BeagleBone, and we need a custom download directory because we want to as any sane developer, we want to share the downloads across all the builds and we want to save time. So we usually want to also share the S-state cache, and I don't like RPM, so I want IPK. I think that's it. Quite a lot of stuff, yeah. Includes repetitive tasks like clone, checkout downfall, clone, checkout downfall, and also like you have to know all the layers. You have to add them into the BB layers. You have to remember what your local.conf shall continue, as it is not meant to go into your version control. It contains directories that are local, that might differ on your build machine, and there's all kinds of fun hidden in there. So let's just check if the build would actually start. Bit core image minimal. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I should even have a hot estate cache here. Bit core image minimal. Let's see what happens. Hope you all had a nice time while you did not have to endure me. You can see the nice flowers in my behind me. I keep on watering them every day. And what's going on there? This doesn't look too bad. Hooray! That actually looks pretty much like the populated estate cache is working out for us. So I didn't go wrong during one of the like 25 steps I had to do in order to prepare my build. So what's the thing I really want to talk about today? Because this has all like been the prelude, the motivation for today's topic. As I said, yeah, Quentin, you're right that this is not a beer bottle. Um, and I misread the comment now as you're looking for a reimbursement fish. I, when we meet next time, I shall hand you a fish. Um, so you see, there were a lot of steps involved. I had to clone like 5 times, which is still a small project. If you have like a real life project, this might be like 15 or 20 layers, and some of them might be even combined layers like meta open embedded. So there's really a layer hierarchy you have to set up. You have to remember not only the branch names usually, because in a real life project you will want to nail the layers down to specific revisions. So you can like tell after the build what was in the build. And moreover, you want to automate what goes into the bblayers.conf. So because you checked out all those layers, you already know that you will probably want them. You wouldn't have checked them out otherwise. So whatever you checked out, it shall probably go into the bblayers.conf, unless it's a combination layer. Again, more complications. And finally, you will want to define some things like the machine and the image you usually want to build, plus some minor tweaks or whatever you want in your local.conf. 25 steps or like 30 steps, or if it's complicated like 100 steps that are the same and the same and the same again. So what does every good hacker do? Writing a script. And now what I'm gonna tell you is do not write a script. Writing scripts to take care of this is like error prone, because it will handle only your personal case for this one project you are writing the script for. And when you start the next project, you will copy it over. It will all diverge, and it will be like the absolute mess to maintain, unless you have exactly one project, which is just not true like for the most of us. Hello Marco, welcome back again too. And so you usually want some more complicated or higher powered automation. Um, the first two solutions that emerged have been around for quite some time. This is like Git submodules. where you leverage a template for your local.conf plus all the layers you rely on uh, as Git submodules. I think I can find an example for this, if I'm not super mistaken. No, this is the wrong one, and I want the right one. Russ Burton, GitLab, GitHub. I want GitHub, not GitLab, because one of our most trusted and most long-lived open embedded contributors, who goes by the name of Ross Burton, has prepared a demonstration layer for this. You can look it up here, just so you can find the link. I'm gonna drop it into the chat also. This is an example for leveraging Git submodules, which is okay if it fits your needs. You see, it also relies on a custom init-env script, and what is already a cool thing, it bundles the information on what you want to build with a custom layer. If you open the link, there's a layer plus the information in there. I think that's a good thing. What I like here is this bundling mechanism, because it keeps things together, and you reduce the number of commits you will have in the repository for your real project. What I do not like is the custom scripting. The other pre-existing technology is Google Repo, which is also like kind of let me just see if I can find an example. Not at the moment. Freescale has been using this for quite some time, but I just can't find an example in a couple of seconds. Repo is like a supercharged front end for repository management. You have an XML file that defines I want this layer in this. I want to pull from this repository in this version and this repository in this version, and everything goes here and there and everything. And you can tinker with it then, and you can resync with the upstream. You can push back to the upstream. You can do all kinds of super funny things, which you are gonna need if you are building Android. Problem: we're not gonna build Android. So I think this is just like I just reduced the mic level a little because I saw it like going all the way to the red. And repo is, to me personally, is like Git submodules on dope. It does what I can do with submodules without any extra magic, but it doesn't give me anything beyond it in my usual workflow, because I just want to set up my project and build it. Uh, but that's it. I do not work on 100 Git repos for layers simultaneously from this BSP vendor and here and there, and it's just not what I need. And what it also doesn't give you is scripting. It does not relieve you from a custom hand-carved mechanism to set up bblayers.conf and local.conf, other than the template files we already mentioned. And I just don't like that. You know, I for a reason I cannot really explain is I don't like stuffing template files into layers, because I feel they should not mingle with the metadata. And I do not like custom scripting because if I do write scripts, I have to maintain them. And I do not like to maintain things. So we are gonna look at CAS, which was written by Daniel Wagner. I do not remember if he was working for BMW at the time or was already at Siemens. At least I came to notice it by some good friends at Siemens. Um, and it does exactly what I want. It does not bring all the fancy magic that repo has, but it gives me that one thing I want to see, namely automated setup of layers and local.conf. You see, as we have now finished the tedious part and going to the fun part, here's the beer. Let me. Mm, my bottle is like going. Is like superfluous. Quentin, are you looking? No reimbursement. So again, we're gonna get we first we need CAS by itself. I usually recommend to do things like this in a virtual environment, as CAS gets deployed through pip. Usually, it's a Python tool. No T, nope. Um, and the T question like totally cut my mental thread. Good deal, man. Yeah, okay. So we need to deploy CAS to our build machine in some form. You can either run it directly on the host distribution or in a Docker. There's also a CAS Docker that gets provided by the project in itself. If we are quick enough, we will either do the contained layer or the Docker dance. We will see. Maybe I'll also just like break something and run out of time. Happens to. Okay, so what we first gonna do is create a virtual environment. And we're gonna call it cast demo. And source. Actually, I think it would be better if I start out with a fresh shell. Yocto life cast. Nope, it's like this. Source cast demo bin activate. Okay. Pip pip3. Install CAS. Okay, we do have CAS. That's cool. The CAS documentation is like, okay, I usually just rip off something that already works. Let me find you my images. Let me find you an example. My images. Okay, this is a broken repository. Wop wop wop. Okay. If you like looking there, this link. The content in itself is outdated, but the CAS files are worth being used as blueprints, and that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna write a CAS file here. Vim CAS. Gonna call it CAS BeagleBone YAML, and hopefully this works. No, it does not work. I want to insert all this here. No. Okay, you will see me typing again. We're gonna need a header, version 2. We're gonna set distro. Oh, I really should have sorted out. No, that's the machine. Machine BeagleBone, and the distro is Pocky. What else do we need? We're gonna use we're gonna need some repos. This is just like putting in small bits and pieces to fill up later. And we will add stuff to local.conf that we want. Okay? So, things we usually want to set in local.conf is confusing me. I'm messing up. GitHub. I have to look up another example. Seriously. Okay. This is better. We're gonna need I told you I want packages, package management as being set by IPK. And now we're gonna look at the I think I went wrong somewhere. No, it's okay. Ah, that's the reason. We're gonna move later. Okay. Build conf local.conf. This is what we want here. We want package classes to be set to package IPK. We also usually want this. Debug Twix. I also find the syntax a little bit strange, but if it works, I'm fine with it. Okay. I think that should be enough for now. And now here comes the cool part. We want to define which layers and upstream repositories we need, and we want to nail them down to specific revisions. So, as already set up, we're gonna want a Pocky, and Pocky has this URL: get yoctoproject.org. Pocky get, and now here comes the part where we just like grab the layer revisions Hopefully this works. No, it does not work. Ref spec is the thing. Then we're gonna grab the revision from somewhere else. That's not a problem. Pocky, Dunfell. Seriously, copy pasting when streaming under Windows is like weirding me out. This is not good. I feel like an idiot at the moment. Putty's playing tricks on me. Why are you doing this, Putty? Putty, why are you doing this? Oh, this is VI. As I told you, I will break stuff. No fun. This is no fun. Putty VI paste from clipboard. Uh, huh, 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 huh. And what does it tell me? Okay. Google says I have to shift insert. Ah, here we go. Okay. Thank you, Google. Okay, what else do we need? We need to say, because POC is also a combination layer, we need to define which layers we actually want. And these happen to be meta, let's just check the original, you know. Let's build conf BB layers. We need meta, meta Pocky, meta Yocto BSP. Meta, meta Pocky, and meta Yocto BSP. Then, okay, long story short, I would now repeat this for Meta Open Embedded, for Meta TI, and for Meta ARM. This is actually what I have to write down. This is the small part in the session where I will just like trick and get something I prepared. You can see I just wrote all of this down like yesterday already, but it's really the same. It's like Pocky, Meta Open Embedded, Meta OE, Meta Python again, Meta ARM with the layer, and just two small additions. It already sets the diskmon, and the other things I did not want to copy verbatim from the examples because I would have to type them. We're gonna just get rid of this, go into a demonstration here. No demonstration. We're already here. Gonna remove RF Pocky, meta everything, and build. Okay, and get the file that I prepared. I really was so immersed in writing a CAS file that I forgot to finish pouring my beer. Cheers, finally. Finally, exactly, Robert. Finally. Um, I have to point out that I'm having a little bit like a lonely feeling. Nobody's telling me that I'm talking like rubbish, which is good because it's probably not rubbish, but it makes me feel like lonely. Okay? Could you just like type something into the chat? Okay, so I have this CAS file that I just like. We're gonna look at it one more time so you really can see that I am not cheating. This is everything that is written in there. It's layers, revisions, and what I want to go into local.conf. And now I will go like this. Cas build cas main go. And it's like running off. You know? Time to drink some beer, watch some flowers. It's gonna be a cool summer, right? I think I'm gonna do some future sessions right here on the balcony because it's a nice place. Don't you think? Don't you think so? Feels good here. Woohoo! We're actually having like 18 people watching. I think this is a new record. I feel mighty great. So it's still like working. The uplink on where the build machine is located is not the super fastest, but it's okay. And final one is Pocky. Pocky is the biggest one of the repositories too. Can you hear the birds tweeting? I can. This is cool. Okay, and you can see like Cass has finished setting up everything and now resorts to the default target, which is core image minimal. I'm just gonna stop it right here because we're gonna do two things right now. We're gonna look at what Cass actually produced. Build conf local.conf. You can see what I defined to be there is there. Machine distro package classes. And we're gonna look at bblayers.conf. Everything I want is in there. So this is why I always recommend Cas over Git submodules and or repo. I do not have to combine two things with scripting. I write one configuration file and then I can kick off a build. You can also define the default target. I just didn't do that because for demonstration purposes, core image minimal is fine. So this is already the first thing I want for Cas. What would go into your version control is this Cas file together with maybe your application metadata layer. Now, one problem. You can see that you could see, we're gonna check it again, that I did not set a state cache and download directory. This has a couple of reasons and or implications that I want to discuss right now. I could write them into the CAS file, which would mean that I set a default there, and this default would go into my version control, which is usually not what I want, because my version control should know nothing of my directory hierarchy I want to have on the build and or development machine. Okay, I could do that, but I don't want to. I could also pass them in through the environment, which is again not what I want to, because it would involve a smaller but outer script on my development machine, where I would have to set and export DLDIR and estate cache, or it would involve a script on Jenkins or my CI, whatever I have, which sets those environment layers and then calls into CAS, which again I do not want. It's if you have a smaller script, it's not it it reduces the maintenance burden a little because it's smaller, but it's another script you have to maintain. I do not want that. So here comes one of the really coolest features of CAS. It can like um, chain configuration files. So I can add another configuration file that gets merged on top of my other one. And in this configuration file, I can add stuff. So here comes the trick. I have one configuration file that I keep on my development machine, and I merge that on top of every project. The development machine CAS file only contains the path to the download directory and the estate cache. So I can just like share that all across all of the machines I have. So what we're gonna do is like CAS. Um, um, I'm gonna just show you the demonstration file. I call it CAS local usually. It's not there. KD CAS local. No tricks there again. It only sets DLDIR and estate cache. Is there a bug there on my keyboard? Um, so, getting rid of everything again. CAS build, meta, Parky. Clean again. The CAS demo is the virtual environment I obviously still need. So, CAS build, CAS main, Yocto live prep, KD, CAS local. It means CAS build this file, but chain merge this and this and that. Does this happen now? I think it does. Early vote. Shall we add a custom layer for the fun of it, or shall we try to get it working in Docker? You have time to vote and decide until this like build finishes. Okay. I will drink some beer in the meantime and watch the chat. Robert says Docker. Other votes? Quentin says Docker. Priminux says Docker. Okay, we're gonna go for Docker, it seems. We'll go for Docker after the shell demonstration, okay? Bup, 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 bup. I think Docker might break the download load directory magic. It might. But we will see that. I mean, I'm here to break stuff. Build running off, hopefully. And if my magic all worked out, then the estate cache and download directory get reused without a single trace of it being set up in the configuration file that I can put in version control, which is exactly what I want. Any bets if that works? It works, given the speed of the population. So, you see, this is why you want to use CAS. And we're on time, and I didn't break stuff. I just like talked a lot of rubbish during my copy-paste errors, but I think that's okay. So we're gonna just like wait for this build to finish, then I'm gonna do a small shell show, and then we're gonna try if it works for Docker too. And for Robert, as I mentioned earlier, here's some beard combing. You can see it makes me look super awesome, you know? The looks are important if you're doing live coding, yeah? Plus beer. Whoa. I'm sprinkling my laptop with beer. You want the beard comb, Robert? I hear that Amazon sells them. Okay, this was the build. So here's the shell demo. Cas shell. Whatever I do, it does not work. It does work. You can see the the Python environment vanished, and now I am in the build as we know from a classic OpenEmbedded/Pocky build, where I can use bitbake and everything, which I usually could not do outside of CAS because I do not have the build environment initialized. See, bitbake is there, DevTool is around everything I want, and I can do like exit. I'm back in my outer environment without any pollution. So, CAS shell. And on popular request, I will try to make this work in Docker. I guess I will fail as I only have like 10 minutes left. But maybe I can get it working. Again, we will rip off a little bit of stuff from Siemens, because like Siemens is awesome. I'm not saying that because I particularly like the products, which is I'm like whatever, but they have some pretty cool open source stuff going on, believe it or not. If you're into like industrial stuff on embedded Linux, it's some of the parts are a little bit well hidden or hard to grasp, but they're pretty cool and they have some pretty bright guys. Okay, let's get rid of everything again. Pocky, meta, everything, and build. And we're gonna need the CAS Docker script that Siemens provides. Gonna look at it. CAS Docker. Here's one of the bright guys mentioned. It does stuff and everything. It's a script, but I do not have to maintain it. So, change mod a plus 6. Docker, not cast Docker. I really hate this terminal bell. It's really impossible to drink the amounts of beer needed to not hear it anymore. Cast Docker tells me all the classic stuff. And let's see what happens. Docker build cas main. We're gonna do it without the download directory right now, just for the setup, and you will see what we're gonna do the shell. Okay? Okay. Cast Docker shell. Docker runs off. You will see that cas mounts the directories in a particular way, which is both a strength and a weakness in this particular case. But I will show you in a minute. Okay, now obviously Docker was ready. You can see the output of cas that you already know. Cloning. Actually, what just comes to my mind is Git related to the Clone Wars? I mean, like, is it that far-fetched? Pocket cloned. That looks good. Dup, dup, dup. No singing and dancing, Robert. I really don't want to. Let me see how many people are watching, because it makes me feel like great. Oh, way more people than last time. I feel awesome. Really. Pocky's being cloned. Pocky's being like checked out in the correct revision, I hope. It's waiting. It's not my usual build server, which is uh, quite a bit faster. Okay, you can see I am inside a Docker container now. I am inside my Pocky build, which is all set up perfectly. Which I can manually interact with, do stuff, and I'll just um, like touch a file, because we don't have the download directory and the state cache, and everything would like touch like take forever. Touch something, and then I go like exit, and you can see that in the directory where I kicked off the cast Docker build, I can now see that everything is neatly set up, and I can access this something which I just created inside the Docker, which means like if I had ran the full build, I could also access the artifacts and the images and everything I wanted to that the build has provided, which is what I want. My time is over. You will probably believe me that if I would do the configuration file chaining right now, it would like break because the paths are not there inside the Docker. Um, this would probably need some tricks with putting the things to share into the build directory. Um, but yeah, I'll either leave it as an exercise for the reader or as an example why Docker does not fix all the problems that you might have. Okay? So, any more questions? Remarks? Congratulations? Insults? Praise for my lovely beard? My beer is almost empty. I just can say again, like, get in touch, get onto #Yocto on Freenode, say hello, ask us things. Um, Follow us on Twitch, namely the Yocto Project and me. I go by Lito Atreides II on Twitch. I go by Lito II on IRC. People like my beard. Yeah, I know that. And well then, Insta follow. I do not have an Instagram account because it will only like contain pictures of my images of my beard, which tends to be boring after the second, maybe even after the first. Sorry, man. And okay, I'd say like get in touch, shoot us questions, remarks, and also like topic suggestions for the next time. I promise to not completely ignore them, only mostly. And I guess we'll see each other in June then. What I am developing, usually a headache after too much beer. um, Personally, I do industrial controls, and this is also why I'm pretty much in touch with the Siemens guys, because a lot of the stuff they do is like real-time related. I actually do not get into these specific topics on the usual live coding sessions too much, because I try to keep a beginner focus. The live coding sessions also go onto YouTube. Okay, one remark. I do offer. No, nobody has asked for it yet, but I do offer custom sessions. So if you want a custom session in this style, I promise I will drink beer. On a particular topic, I will do this for two kinds of refund. For a considerably smaller refund, if you accept the session being donated to the community after it is being recorded, which means I put it onto YouTube saying that you paid for it and hereby donated, or like just I will bill you for talking to you and drinking beer. But there are better people for this, actually. Please hire me for donations. Okay? If you actually want people like talking to you for serious explanations, get in touch with Robert or Marco. You both say hello in the chat, and or look them up and at the Yocto Project site on LinkedIn. They're pretty present there. If you really want a custom training, those are some guys you can go to. If you want to like have a more like light-hearted approach at things, 1 hour or two talking about a specific topic, and drinking beer, then that's me. Okay? And that so far. Where's my mouse? Let me say thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see each other in a month. And yeah, don't forget to follow us.